Hello and welcome to FTTR. I am Ewan McQuaid and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the Ring of Honor 19th anniversary show, which I've just finished watching. Now, this isn't going to be a full play-by-play review of the show, match after match. I'm going to talk about my highlights, some of the matches I wasn't too keen on, but I'm just going to give you my overall thoughts on what I thought was a cracking show. I thought it was really enjoyable. It's probably the best, most engaging empty arena show I've ever watched, and that includes the old NXT stuff as well as the old AEW stuff. I just found it really engaging. I think Ring of Honor has sort of managed to master that really well. It just sort of flies by. I don't know how they do it without, the crowd, because at least AEW and NXT have got some semblance of a crowd at the moment. But they really make the matches engaging. I don't know if it's just the insane work rate that a lot of the wrestlers use, but yeah, I don't understand how they've managed to capture it so well. And just thinking of those shows when they come back and they'll have a crowd, it's just like, oh my god, that'd be amazing. So let's start off with one of the highlights from this show, and one of the biggest takeaways for me was the women's tournament being announced, because when I first started watching Ring of Honor, I was a bit like, I thought they had a women's division. But in the past few weeks of TV, I haven't seen any sort of acknowledgement of the women's division apart from Maria Kanellis being on commentary. So seeing that brought to the forefront again with the announcement of the tournament, I'm really excited for that. I think that could be a really fun, sort of development of the women's division. Hopefully better than the AEW Eliminator tournament. Here's hoping. But yeah, and that sort of rivalry that was announced as well, with maybe Maria's being the general manager kind of figure. I think that could be really interesting. Well, that was one of the biggest takeaways for me. In terms of matches, my match of the night, it was Draper versus Jonathan Gresham for the Pure Championship. That match, I didn't expect that match to be as good as it was, because from what I've seen Draper on TV, he hasn't necessarily shone through. But I think the Pure Rules matches really highlight a sort of era of wrestling that we don't see much anymore. You sort of get a glimpse of it with the Heritage Cup in NXT UK, but I wasn't expecting to be as engaged as I was sort of when Gresham got to the ropes 3 times before Draper even got one, and then the really innovative, roll into the outside of the ring to beat the 10 count. That was just inspired, and I've never seen anything like that match, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to like that match as much as I did, and Jonathan Gresham is just becoming one of my favourite wrestlers in the world. I don't know how I've not heard of him before, but I'm going to keep up and look at more Jonathan Gresham matches. But that was definitely my match of the night, I think. I think the Kenny King opener went a bit short. Maybe it was because, they had this match planned with Dragon Lee. But, injuries happen. That match wasn't as engaging as I thought it'd be. I mean, we've got a new champion, Tracy Williams, which is, yay, the Foundation went on a right streak for this. And my predictions were very, 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 very wrong about this show. But one of the things I was not expecting was the Lucha triple threat, the implosion sort of Mexi Squad. That match was insane. I've never seen some of the spots that they did in this match. Sort of a Tower of Doom, flipping, reverse slam kind of thing. I don't even know how to describe it. And I think they were struggling on commentary to sort of explain what they just saw. It was that crazy. That match was so fun, really unexpected, and I like sort of the progression of Mexi Squad. I think putting the luchadors sort of front and centre, only a good thing. Highlighting more, it's just, that style of wrestling is just amazing. That is probably my favourite style of wrestling, as opposed to sort of big men, the WWE style. Lucha wrestling to me is just phenomenal. I love it. Other than that, I think sort of going from positive to negative, let's do it that way. I think My biggest low light was the cinematic match between Matt Taven and Vincent. Maybe it's because I'm not invested in the story and I haven't seen all the build up to this, but it was a bit hokey, a little bit too WWE for me. Reminded me a lot of which one was the WWE one? The Ultimate Deletion, the final deletion? I can't remember which one it was. The one with Bray Wyatt. That was, yeah. I wasn't as much into that, and I wasn't as much into the finish either. I don't really want this story to continue. I think Matt Taven's really good. I think he should separate away from Vincent maybe a little bit. But yeah, you know, if they're finishing off this story, let's let them wrap it up the way they want to tell it. But it's not the most engaging part of Ring of Honor TV for me. But that being said, let's talk about LFI versus the Foundation tag match, because that was really, really fun as well. It was a good way to break up, you know, the opener for the TV title, and a good way to sort of lead into the main event with LFI losing both sets of belts. You know, they lost the Ring of Honor Television Championship and they've lost the tag belts. So is Roosh going to lose his? That was a really nice setup. From there, they had a really good match. It was really fun. I wasn't expecting the Foundation to win, to be honest. I was really shocked. I thought this was going to be an LFI sort of sweep, but no, they had really cool, innovative spots. That was just a hard-hitting brawl, to be honest, which factored in really nicely into the main event, which was Jay Lethal versus Roosh. This match was so good. It was really, really great. You know, I haven't seen a lot of both of these guys. This is just me sort of coming to grow to know them. But it was off the chain. Roosh is so good. You know, he does leg slaps really well. Get a really nice sound when he does a knee or a kick. He's a master of that. Jay Lethal is just, you know, he's a legend at this point. He's insanely talented, and they just put on an absolute corker. Absolute corker with, you know, sort of slow Roosh leaning into Jay Lethal's pure wrestling style, and then just, you know, spitting in his face, which you don't want to do during COVID, but that just makes him even more of a dickhead, doesn't it, really? That was a really tense build-up where they were trying to out-wrestle each other, and then Roosh is just like, no, nah, fuck this. It was great. It was really great, and you know, they got into a really good. I thought Lethal was going to win at one point when he hit the lethal injection. I was like, oh my god, really? I thought it was going to be a clean sweep at that point. That is one of the best near falls that I've experienced in recent memory that I can remember. I genuinely thought Lethal was going to win, but no, Roosh won. Hit two. You call it mess with? It can't be mess with the bull. You get the horns. It must just be the horns. The horns hits two horns. I really liked that Lethal did the exact same thing that Gresham did in the Pure match, where he just rolled out after having the finisher hit on him. Oh, it was so good. It was really good. And the ending was Roosh hitting two horns to pick up the victory, and he is the only one with gold in LFI. Don't know if that's going to lead to some friction. Don't know if it's going to lead to an implosion or something, because, you know, after the tag match, after Kenny King and I nearly said Batista, something like that. Batista. I don't know. They got rid of Amy Rose with an incredibly impactful spear, which just looked nasty. So I don't know if they're going towards an implosion. I think that'd be really interesting. I mean, there's a member of LFI who's recently been released from his contract. Maybe he can come in. I'm just hoping Andrade shows up and I can watch Andrade every week. I really hope Andrade goes to Ring of Honor. I really hope. But no, we got the introduction of a new faction at the end, led by Brody King. I love a bit of faction warfare. Maybe it's a bit too similar to AEW at the moment. I don't want just faction. But Ring of Honor, you know, it's really got me hooked, and I'm really intrigued to see where some of these stories go. I think this show was really, really great, to be honest. It's one of the best wrestling pay-per-views I've seen of the year. It's probably my number one. I think I preferred it to AEW Revolution. And it was a really strong outing for the promotion. And if you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend checking it out. It's available on Fight if you want to see it. Ring of Honor are telling some great stories, and I really hope they get this. I really hope they get to pay off a lot of them. Because that's the current issue with wrestling stories, is sometimes we just don't get payoff to them because obviously global pandemic and that. But they're telling really concise, really interesting stories, and I'm intrigued to see where it goes from here. So let me know down in the comments, what did you think of Ring of Honor's 19th anniversary show? I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, are you going to check it out? Thank you for watching my content. Thank you all for the support. Thank you all for the love. Thank you all ever so much, and have a nice day.